EV sales growth has hit a standstill, and conversations are now dominated by concerns about a looming market crash. But what if we dig deeper and suggest that the issue goes beyond mere demand? What if this signals the beginning of the end for the entire electric vehicle revolution? The impending challenges could far surpass a market crash, and we will be showing you 8 compelling reasons why. Number 8, accessibility. One big reason people aren't excited about electric cars is the cost. Electric vehicles are much more expensive than regular cars that use gasoline. A typical electric car costs between $50,000 and $60,000. A recent report suggests that affordable electric cars might not be available soon. The first wave of people trying electric cars is over, and companies that make electric cars haven't figured out how to make them cheaper yet. This isn't how you get lots of people interested in buying them. What's interesting is that there's no sign that electric cars will become cheap soon. The government gives big incentives and electric car makers offer discounts, but it's not enough. The market needs an affordable electric car, something like the price of small regular cars. Yet, because they can't make production more efficient or lower operating costs, car manufacturers will keep losing money on electric vehicles. This will make them focus on making expensive luxury electric vehicles in small numbers. Before we continue, if you're enjoying this video, do well to give us a thumbs up and hit the subscribe button to show your support. If you've done that, let's continue. Number 7, infrastructure is not adequate. Electric vehicles have gained some market share in recent years, but the growth hasn't been matched by a quick expansion of charging stations. Also, there are very few public chargers available, which is the main reason why even potential EV buyers hesitate. For instance, in the US market, experts say we'll need over 180,000 chargers by the end of the 2020s. Do you know the current number? Right now, there are less than 40,000 chargers available. This shows that problems with public charging will only get worse in the coming years. It seems like the government isn't putting in enough money to build more public charging stations. Because of this, car companies such as BMW, GM, Honda, Hyundai, Mercedes-Benz, Stellantis, and a few others are working together. They plan to create a network of 30,000 chargers across North America. This is to make up for the serious shortage of charging stations. Additionally, all the big car companies have decided to use Tesla's charging standards. This means that soon every electric car in North America will have the same kind of charging port. But will this solve the problem? We're not so sure. Apart from there not being enough chargers, there are other issues with public charging stations. These include how dependable they are and the cost of using fast chargers. Charging at public stations can be very costly, which doesn't help attract more middle-class buyers. These buyers often don't have their own parking spaces and can't charge their cars cheaply at home. Number 6, car makers are abandoning the electrification plans. Until recently, people thought the switch to electric vehicles would happen quickly and easily. But recent trends show the opposite. The electric vehicle market is slowing down, and car companies still haven't figured out how to make money from electric cars. They're still losing a lot of money. After investing billions that won't pay off soon, it's clear they need a new plan. Automakers such as Ford and Chevy delayed their big electric car projects months ago, and now other companies are doing the same. This especially applies to European car makers. A lot of them make big plans. For example, companies like Mercedes-Benz and Volkswagen said they would only make electric cars within the next 10 years. But according to their recent statements, they won't stop making cars with combustion engines anytime soon. BMW, on the other hand, never said exactly when they would only make electric cars. But their recent actions also show they don't plan to stop making cars with internal combustion engines. Furthermore, the Bavarian automaker is actively working on developing new gasoline and diesel engines, a strategy similar to Toyota's long-standing approach. BMW is also paying attention to customer preferences, allowing them to influence both market direction and the development of new technologies. Number 5, electric vehicles are actually not good for the environment. The issue with electric vehicles goes beyond just money. It's about sustainability. So far, EVs haven't made much progress in this area. Producing EV still causes a much bigger carbon footprint compared to regular cars. Also, there's no indication that they'll start using clean energy for their batteries soon. Most of the world still depends a lot on power plants that burn coal. And this isn't just a problem in developing countries, it's a widespread issue, even in developed nations like the United States. In simple terms, we're still many decades away from fully depending on renewable sources like solar and wind power. As long as a large portion of our electricity comes from coal-powered plants, achieving zero emissions and truly green energy with electric cars remains unrealistic to discuss. Number 4, change of lifestyle. As mentioned, the general public, particularly the middle class, is still many years, possibly decades away from fully adopting plug-in vehicle technology. And there are several reasons for this. High prices and a limited selection of suitable models are among them. However, what we often overlook is the most crucial factor. Transitioning to an electric car requires a complete change in lifestyle. Consider all the time and planning needed to charge electric cars. Suddenly, it takes more than 5 minutes to refuel your car, not to mention concerns about range and charging. On longer trips, you have to carefully plan your stops. Driving an electric car requires many compromises and essentially means completely changing your lifestyle. Number 3, there are now EV junkyards. The used electric vehicle market is nearly non-existent, and soon cars could be treated like consumer electronics. We're seeing the emergence of EV junkyards, a new phenomenon. The main reasons are intriguing, particularly how insurance companies are more likely to declare electric cars a total loss compared to combustion cars. The primary issue arises from minor collisions, because even slight damage to electric cars can result in exceedingly costly repairs. This is due to the design of the battery casing, which is welded in a manner that doesn't allow for repairs, but necessitates complete replacement. Even a minor flaw could jeopardize the battery's safety, explaining why insurance companies prefer to declare such vehicles total losses rather than dealing with expensive and intricate repair processes. Number 2, there is no used electric car used market. Many drivers, whether they are relatively young or older, often prefer to buy a used car rather than a new one. This choice makes sense if they can find a well-maintained vehicle from a trusted automaker. It's often a more affordable option, especially when considering how quickly new cars lose their value due to depreciation. Speaking of depreciation, electric cars lose their value much faster, and a major reason for this is low demand. There are several reasons why used EVs are not in high demand. Firstly, they can be more expensive to operate than expected. Insurance and repair costs are much higher due to a shortage of trained professionals and their complex design. Then there's the notorious issue of potential battery replacement, which can exceed the vehicle's market value by thousands of dollars, sometimes more. Another issue is that dealers have significant leeway in setting replacement costs, which can vary widely. Number 1, full electrification won't happen. Considering all the factors we've discussed, this outcome appears inevitable. The electric vehicle market has slowed down notably this year, and the concept of rapid electrification is no longer a major topic of discussion. Even with substantial discounts, industry giants such as Tesla are experiencing significant declines. In fact, the entire market is nearing a downturn. For instance, look at the first quarter of this year. The year-over-year growth was a modest 2.6%. When we examine quarter-to-quarter shifts, the EV market saw a significant decline, with sales dropping by 15.2% compared to the last quarter of 2023. This trend persisted into the second quarter, and although official numbers are pending, Tesla reported a 17.7% decrease in April, with May showing similar trends. The reasons are clear. It's crucial for the middle class to adopt them now, and unlike wealthy early adopters, affordability is the decisive factor here. With few convincing reasons for the average American to choose an EV, it's understandable that the current market share remains at 7.3%. Meanwhile, hybrids are gaining popularity as a more accessible technology. The situation is similar in other regions. except in China, where the government is aggressively promoting electrification efforts. In many parts of the world, it's becoming evident that complete electrification won't happen anytime soon, possibly not for decades. Industry leaders like Akio Toyota believe that electric vehicles won't surpass 30% of the global market, especially given that over 1 billion people worldwide lack access to electricity. Considering these factors, it's reasonable to predict that combustion engines will continue to dominate the market in the years ahead. Alright guys, we've come to the end of this video, and if you enjoyed it, do well to click on the like and subscribe buttons. Don't forget to check other videos on our playlist. We've got some amazing content for you. Thanks for watching, and we'll see you in our next video.